What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got another new Transformers trading card game, Wave 4 character, to be having a gander at. We are finally catching up after the deluge of reveals at the end of last week. However, there's been so many reveals from so many places, and I'm now just getting the images off of the official Facebook, because they've all been updated there. So if I don't credit somebody because I got the image off of the Facebook rather than their reveal, please do let me know. I'll happily add it into the description, pin a comment, etc. But this image did come from the official Facebook group. So, let's have a chat about Captain Impactor, shall we? It is a 7-cost Autobot tank. Now, in terms of the stats, it's not bad. For a 7-cost, it's about in line with what we're looking for. In bot mode, we've got attack of 4, defense of 1. In alt mode, we get 1 less attack, 1 more defense. Seriously, it's very, very common to have 1 more defense, 1 less attack in alt mode. But then again, you start in alt mode, so you've got a bit more beef, and then you can switch to bot mode if you want to attack, if you so wish. And then regardless of mode, we got health of 12, so right on line with what we expect from a 7-cost. Cool. And Impactor's all about bold. In bot mode, bold 1. Simple as that. You have bold 1, you flip 1 more battle card when you are attacking. Oh, nice. It's kind of alright. Bold 1 is not terribly exciting anymore, if I'm honest with you. Because we've seen so many characters that have got bold 1, and not only have we seen so many characters that have got bold 1, but we've actually seen a whole bunch of characters that have got a lot more than bold 1. I mean, Flame War gives each of your characters bold 1 till the end of turn, and worth bearing in mind that it is each of your characters, not each of your other characters, so it does count for Flame War as well, which is kind of cool. And that's only a 5-star. And then, I mean, we got a myriad of other bots. I mean, Grimlock does give bold 3, but only to a Dinobot, so it's maybe not the, best example here. I mean, Jetfire's got bold 1, but then again, Jetfire also has that amazing alt mode skill, whereby you get to attach an armor from the discard pile, or the scrap pile. It's not bad, but it's not terribly impressive. And when we've got things running around like Flamethrower that can just give you bold 2 while having an orange icon, and bearing in mind, right, bold does add up, but I'm just trying to say that bold 1's not terribly exciting. However, if you flick yourself into alt mode, each of your characters gets bold 1 until end of turn. That's kind of cool. Now, it's when you flip into alt mode and you start in alt mode, so you got to get to bot mode and then back. But just like we talked about with Flame War, this is each of your characters. It is not each of your other characters. So that's kind of nice, isn't it? Still only bold 1, but what we can start doing here is building up and building up and keep going with the bold. So let's say you've got a melee character running around, well, you give them a power sword and all of a sudden they've got bold 4. Except we can use Flame War. Now, I'm not saying it has to be Grimlock. I just want to use Grimlock as an example because I love Grimlock, and Grimlock's a melee character. So you give it a power sword, bold 3. You flick it into alt mode, one of your Dinobots gets bold 3 until end of turn. I choose Grimlock. Now we're up to bold 6. Then with Flame War, we're up to bold 7. Then with Impactor, we're up to bold 8. I know we're flipping a lot of our bots into alt mode there. Roll out. There we go. Simple. Job's a good 'un. Flips each of your characters from bot mode to alt mode. That'll do the trick nicely. And now all of a sudden we have an incredibly bold character and we can be rolling. And essentially, that's what Captain Impactor is. Captain Impactor is not a bot around which we're going to be building a deck. And we've seen a few of them from Wave 4 so far. We've seen a few characters that I've looked at and gone, you know what? I love these. we can build a deck around these. I mean, one of my favourites that we've seen so far, Private Greenlight. And Private Greenlight, when you play a green action, you get +1 attack until end of turn, so you can start building a really heavy green deck around this. And in alt mode, you've got Safeguard free, and its upgrades can't be scrapped, so that makes you really want to start playing some of these Battle Masters because they can't be gotten rid of. That is a character around which you build a deck. This is not a character around which you build a deck. It is a support character. But one of the most important things about this, and I said this to Landon from TCG Rollout, lovely dude, I said, well, that Captain Impactor, there's nothing particularly special about him, is there? And Landon went, well, it's a 7-cost Autobot tank. And he's got a point. You see, we don't have many Autobot tanks. Autobot tanks really haven't been coming around too much. Now, in terms of Decepticon tanks, we've had a whole bunch of Megatron, Arrogant Ruler being my personal favourite of them. And we've had a whole bunch of stuff like Demolisher back in Wave 1. Whereas Autobot tanks, we haven't really had very much. And the thing is, sometimes we want Autobots. One card which has seen a lot of play and a lot of discussion since it was released is Press the Advantage. Press the Advantage is a phenomenal card if you're an Autobot. It's sitting there with an orange icon and a green icon, which means you can get it back from your scrap pile if you flip it while attacking. You get to, or defending in fact, you get to swap a card in your hand for it at the end of the battle. Choose one of your Autobots to give +2 attack. Choose an enemy Decepticon to get -2 defense. It's basically +4 attack, unless they don't have 2 defense to begin with. It's great, which makes you want to play an Autobot deck. And sometimes we want to play tanks. We want to play stuff like Hunker Down, for instance. Hunker Down, great card, flicks all of your characters that can be tanks into tank mode, and then you get to attach an armor to it, each of them, if they don't have armor already. Whether that's something like Force Field, or whether it's something a bit more specialized, it doesn't really matter. The point is, you get to get extra armor. And you can start playing decks with Megatron, and you can have Hunker Down, but you can't have Press the Advantage. And you don't need to be playing this in an entirely Autobot deck. You can be playing it in a Decepticon deck with a bunch of Decepticon tanks with just this, but then you can use Press the Advantage on this. Give yourself 6 attack while removing 2 defense from an opponent Decepticon. Having said that, playing Decepticons makes you vulnerable to Press the Advantage, which is a good reason to go entirely Autobot. And we've got some other really cheap tanks. Obviously, we do have Slammer from back in the Metroplex deck, although to be fair, doesn't have a bot mode, is exceptionally weak. I mean, weak to the point where you can literally KO it with a bolt of lightning, which is slightly worrying. And we don't have time to get into it in this particular video, but it's going to be getting its own video very, very soon. Private Sidetrack is a 4-cost tank, one of the Micromasters from the set. So we've got some options. We're starting to get some options to make quite a wide tank deck. And if we're making quite a wide tank deck, we're gonna need a leader. And that is both a pun and not a pun, because of course, this is an Autobot leader. And that means that you can use Matrix of Leadership. And Matrix of Leadership is a great card, came around in Wave 1. You get both the orange and the blue icon, which is lovely. It can only be put on Autobots. It gives you +1 attack, but if it's put on a leader, your other characters get +1 attack and Pierce 1. And it is all of your other characters, not necessarily just Autobots. So now, now I'm kind of in favour of this. And while we're here, it's worth noting that we did get a couple of other tank Micromasters back in Wave 3. We got Flak and Top Shot, both of which come in at a fairly tidy 4 stars. So now, we're actually working on a bit of an Autobot tank deck. Slammer, 3 stars. Top Shot, 4 stars. Sidetrack, 4 stars. Flak, 4 stars. Well, the 4 of them together only make 15. So you then add in Impactor, and you're up to 22, and all of a sudden you've got a 5-wide Autobot tank deck with 3 stars left over. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm excited about Captain Impactor. I don't mind the stats. They're good, but they're not great. I don't mind the bold 1, but if you're playing a 5-wide deck and you're giving anything bold 1, and you're playing a wide tank deck and you got stuff like Hunker Down and using Matrix of Leadership, and all of a sudden Impactor is giving all of your bots bold 1 and all of your bots +1 attack and all of your bots Pierce 1, yeah. This is the point where I start going, you know what? This is nice and I like it. But I'd like to know if you like it, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games, like Transformers, and anything else that takes our fancy. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, etc. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.